After an interesting day 1 in Jerez, the teams were hoping that they could make their day 2 just as productive. Here is a roundup of day 2 from Jerez. On the timesheets, Yanasa Roca were once again on top, with Alex Moores setting the fastest time on the soft tyre of a 1:21.292. However, it didn't go smoothly for Yanasa Roca, as Alex endured an engine failure in the first part and suspension failure in the second part, losing them a lot of running. One of the major talking points of today's session was the performance of Rosie O'Driscoll. She was on top of the timesheets going into the lunch break and ended the day second on a 1:21.731, having completed 155 laps. Dork had a rather average day at the office, with Hannah Duran ending up 5th fastest on the timesheets. But Hannah Duran's running got cut short in the afternoon session after an incident at the hairpin. Masterforce endured a much more encouraging day. Matt Coombs set a 1:21.825 and completed 146 laps. One of the big surprises of today was the performance of Abby Leggett, who did a 1:21.887, which was 4th on the timesheet. Going into tomorrow, Mossa also have the most mileage out of anyone, as they have completed 308 laps so far this weekend. Baranasso endured a tough day. Will Buchan only had the 11th fastest time, showing that they have a lot of work to do, especially as in both sessions his running was cut short. First session due to an engine failure, and the second session due to a crash. HWR had a reasonable day at the office. They managed to complete the most laps out of anyone today. Louis Hyde doing both of his runs on the hard tyre, and despite being at the bottom of the timesheet, HWR remained upbeat. Speedtech had a mixed day. Santiago Fernandez wasn't last in the timesheet like he was yesterday, but he had an engine failure in the first part of the day. Like yesterday, I went trackside on a couple of occasions to see how each of the cars looked. Well, hello everyone and welcome to my first trackside venture of the day here at Jerez. In what we've got a good spot here. As you can see, we have coming into our top a few cars. We have the Dork of Hannah Duran, we have the CGP of Maxim Jagala, we have the Gindana of Joshua Moores, and the Tobe of David Bland. And I say good shot because if the camera zooms in, if I can get the camera to zoom in, you can see, as you can see, Hannah Duran there going into turn 3. As you can see, Alex Moores coming into shots here as well. And not only that, but you can also see quite a bit of the track here. I'm not even sure what corner number this is, what part of the track this is, but you can see the cars go through. You can see the Speedtech and the Masterforce there. And there's the Mossad, or the MAT run Mossad of Abby Leggett going through there. You can see Hannah Duran and Maxim Jagala going through as well, and Joshua Moores, the group of cars. It's a really good shot there. You can really see the cars. You see a bit of action there involving the Speedtech and the Masterforce. The Masterforce trying to get ahead of the Speedtech. That's Matt Coombs in that car, and then Santiago Fernandez in the Speedtech. But now, regards to how each car looks, going into turn 1, because this is right in a braking zone, you can really see, of course, Yanasa Roca, fantastic everywhere, because they just have looked so good so far. They've had a fantastic start. Dork, you can see the Dork going through now. I think braking is the Dork's weak point, to be honest, but judging by the initial signs and sounds, I think Dork seem to be, at the early signs, say that Dork are going to be best of the rest this year. As here you've got the Yanasa Roca of Alex Moores coming into shot right now. Just absolutely no stepping out at all under braking. Just But then you compare it to the Brown Asso. Brown Asso have looked really poor under braking, to be honest. I think they have fallen back a little bit. But one driver I have really been impressed with so far is Rosie O'Driscoll. I mean, she, as you can see, that is Abby Leggett trying to get past Santiago Fernandez as well. Rosie O'Driscoll, like, in all the parts of, obviously, as I said, we can see quite a few parts of the track. You can see them going into here. And really you can see how the drivers take their braking zones and also how they take the corners. As you can see, I could see Rosie O'Driscoll going through that corner. That's the corner before the straight, that corner. And she just seems to be just driving like someone who has been in ever since, like, say, Matthew Toussaint started back in 2003. So Rosie O'Driscoll has really impressed me so far. She has really looked like she has got used to this car very quickly, and I think people are underestimating the job that I think she is going to do in that Coon GP. Anyway, that is the end of my first trackside venture. Join me trackside later today, where I'm going to see if I can find another part of the track that will be interesting to see how all the cars take. Well, here I am trackside at the chicane now, just watching the cars, and this year I have noticed something. Never before have I gone trackside and seen such differences in the way each of the cars handle and accelerate. This year we have so much of a variation between each of the cars, but I think we could be in for quite a close season. Obviously, the car that looks, as you can see there, is the Speedtech of Santiago Fernandez. Looking all over the place. Santiago Fernandez having a bit of an eventful time in that car. A car that has looked really poor, and this car's just going around now. You can see it's all over the place, the DMAD. It's Dan Phillips, and he's currently on soft tyres. Dan Phillips looking like he's really struggling with that car. Of course, the car that looks the best round here, the Inataroka. So you can see the Coon GP of Rosie O'Driscoll going through. The Coon GP looks very good round here. They have definitely made a step forward. Another car, that metallic yellow car, Abby Leggett. The Mossad looks very strong. They seem to have sorted out their handling problems that they had throughout the whole of last year when they were under the old Mossad ownership. You can see the Inataroka going through, looking absolutely planted as per usual. But Abby Leggett, albeit on soft tyres, set, I believe it was the 4th fastest time of the day just then. And 7/10 up on what Matthew Toussaint did yesterday on the medium tyre. I mean, yes, it's on the soft tyre, but and probably Mossad did a few improvements as well. But that is really encouraging pace, and Mossad, under the new MAT ownership, have definitely made steps forward, and which is good to see. And anyway, that is about it for my trackside venture. Join me next week, or not next week, tomorrow, for my final trackside ventures in Jerez. So, day 2 has now come to an end, and now, like yesterday, I'm going to do basically a team-by-team review heading down the timesheet. So, Inataroka, Alex Moore's in the car. They were able to complete 125 laps a day, but had a couple of issues, so it's a disappointing amount of laps for them, but still, they ended up top of the timesheet. But they have been increasingly worried as many of their customer teams have had problems with their power unit. Coon GP, really good day for them. They have clearly made good steps forward. Rosie O'Driscoll, second on a 121.731, having completed 155 laps today. Masterforce, much more encouraging day for them, as I said before. 121.825 set by Matt Coombs on the soft tyres, doing 146 laps today. Did go out quite late for his hard tyre run, but nonetheless, a good day for Masterforce. Really good day for the MAT Run Mossad squad. Abby Legit 4th on a 121.887. Did 151 laps today. Mossad have now completed a total of 308 laps, which is the most out of anyone so far. Hannah Duran, 5th fastest. You'd be disappointed with that, especially as she did crash out of the second part, doing a 121.971. Dork have done 249 laps so far, but they could have done more had they have more running today. Apart from that, it was a very smooth day for Dork. They didn't have any gremlins with their car. Tove, once again, impressive. David Bland did a 122.102 to go 6th fastest. They completed 157 laps today. That car is a very well built car, clearly. Tove have clearly got this car very right, and I think they could be in for quite a strong season. Joshua Moore's 7th fastest in the Guindana. Still think there is unlocked potential in that car. I think it can go a lot faster. Guindana do say don't expect the car to perform at its full potential until the Bahrain test. So there is still some potential yet to come from that car. CGP Racing had a much better day today. Max and Tagala ended up 8th on the timesheets on a 122.438. They got some good mileage in today as well. They did 149 laps. So a much better day at the office for the CGP team. RTS, very quiet. Louise Morris set the 9th fastest time. And they completed 150 laps. They still have the least amount of mileage out of anyone who's been out on track yet, obviously, as Louise Moore only did 7 laps in the morning session yesterday. But still, a good effort from RTS. They have been really getting the mileage in when they can. And they seem to have a reasonable car straight out of the box. DMAD, once again, a very difficult day for them. Dan Phillips set the 10th fastest time on soft tyres, a 122.808. Clearly, they have a lot of work to do before the season gets underway if they want to be competitive, because they have not looked good at all so far this weekend. So they clearly do have a lot of work to do the DMAD team. And they completed 155 laps today. So a reasonable amount today, but still, they just don't have the pace at the moment. And as I said, when the car went round so many times, it just looks all over the place. Brown-Asso also have a lot of work to do. Will Buchan did a 22.9, but it was only good enough for 11th fastest. Will Buchan did set the 4th fastest time yesterday, but on soft tyres. And also, he had an engine failure in before the lunch break as well. And also, his running was curtailed in the afternoon because he crashed the car. Speedtech had a mixed day, I'd say. I mean, they did have an engine failure before the lunch break. But when Santiago Fernandez put the soft tyres on, he did improve and did a 24.5. And I think Speedtech, and same with H2O, who I'm going to talk about in a moment, they have closed on the pack quite a lot compared to where they were last year in comparison to the pack. HWR, reasonable day for them. Even though they ended up bottom of the timesheets, they are now 2nd on the mileage table. They have done 306 laps. Louis Hyde did both stints on the hard tyre today. So, a reasonable day for HWR. Anyway, that is it from the roundup of day 2. We'll see you tomorrow for day 3. Goodbye.